Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the extended monthly forecast for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that you enjoyed your August reading for the month. This is for September 2018. I feel like the time is just flying by, but I hope this finds everyone well. This is a general reading for your sign, so whatever is most prominent in your world at the time of viewing, I encourage you to take the messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So we're looking for general messages for Leo Sun, Leo Moon, and Leo Rising signs for the month of September 2018. What does Leo need to know for September 2018? Wow, that happened rather quickly. So, as I mentioned, I think I did, I'm doing a 6-card spread today, but we are going to use the bottom of the deck for general energy. Look at this gorgeous card for the month for you. So this is going to, in my view, the bottom of the deck card just helps to create an idea of what is available to you or what awaits you at the end of the month, or just some general energy that surrounds you or that you can tap into. And we have the gorgeous 10 of Cups here. This is really feeling fully emotionally fulfilled and happy and pleased. You and everyone around you benefits from your emotional wellness. And generally speaking, I mean, you can look at this happy, chubby Buddha here. There's just a great deal of happiness. It's an exceptionally warm card. It's similar in energy, in my view, to the sun. The sun is far more potent, as we know. It's a major arcana. But for a minor arcana card, the 10 of Cups is really the epitome of emotional and relational fulfillment and wellness. So this is really beautiful to see for you. For general energy for the month, let's get into your 6 cards here. Following the 6-card spread, I will get jumpers from each of the oracle decks here to my right. Let's get a little snapshot here. What's going on, you know, as a total picture here behind all these cards before we look at them individually. You're bookended by fire. So some activity, some action or behavior is going to figure prominently. You do have 2 9s. We are dealing with 2 6s. 6 are balance, 9 is ascension. I think that you can rise above something here, but a choice needs to be made. This is the wish fulfillment card here. We have the 9 of Cups and then the 10 of Cups as general energy. So, but then as I said, you're bookended by this gorgeous, spiritually aware, you know, the situation is the epitome of spiritual and personal awareness, you know, passion, integrity, very possibly being in a position of leadership or teaching or being the master of something that has to do perhaps with spirituality, or a business venture. Now, I know we're not dealing with pentacles here, but I mean, once we're getting into the court cards of the fire element or the wands, as it were, we're looking at an entrepreneurial spirit here. So it could just be, there's, whether it's a hobby that you're turning into a business or it doesn't matter about the money part of it. There's something that you find that you're very passionate about, but you're also becoming very adept at it. So this is what the situation is, but, you know, bookended here for advice is a heavy load. It's the wounded soldier card. So it's funny. I don't think the advice is to become the wounded soldier. It's, I believe, to look at this in relation to your personal, professional, and spiritual advancement. I think the advice here with the 9 of Wands, particularly because it's bookended by another wand element at the beginning, is stating there's something to be let go of here. If there's something to drop, it's time to walk away from what feels like a heavy load, because the future is this wish fulfillment card. So I really feel confident that by the end of the month for you, Leo, And look at here, we have in the present position is that a choice needs to be made, right? Something between the mind and the heart. And I think it'll come to you, it'll show itself to you, or you'll know right off the bat what that is that you need to very likely, because of an action or a series of actions that you'll take here, get rid of something that it feels overwhelming or feels like you just don't need it anymore because you're beyond it. You've gone past it. You do have the Page of Air here. The Page of Air is lovely. It means a message or an idea or something that's piqued your interest, something that you've begun thinking about, for example, that you've have begun to explore or even study. We do have a little bit of nostalgia here, and then I've gone over the rest of the cards just as a little snapshot. So that's what I'm seeing here with some energy around the cards and some meanings for the cards. Let's get into their positions. As I mentioned, this is the situation or the issue. Now, Leo, you are a fire sign, which is what this is. So this could very well just represent you right now, that you are the key player. You can help yourself out of something where a decision needs to be made and where you feel masterful. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I think that a lot of people might be maybe opposed to that terminology or opposed to even, being the boss or a very adept teacher or leader. Sometimes there's a difficulty accepting that because of this relation to that automatically meaning your ego, but I don't see that here. I see you taking, if this is you, I do see you taking on something that has piqued your interest. And it's curious, right? Because this is the situation, but this represents you. So I really feel like this is, and I know this sounds counterintuitive in a way, but I do feel like this is a humbling. So it's like the opposite of ego because it's followed by the card that represents you, which is I'm willing to learn something new. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to study something. So I love this energy that you're going into this with because it's absolute confidence, right? Confidence that this is intriguing. You can tap into this. This is the right time and the right place. And you have a full heart in order to go into this. You have that sun, even to go even further with that, you have that halo behind you. And maybe there's just an element of believing that about yourself or believing that loving yourself and thinking that you're, say, amazing or intelligent or capable, whatever that is, that you automatically, for whatever reason, identify with ego and ego is automatically wrong. I think that we can turn that around and we can say, no, this is actually like, as long as you are, genuinely keen in learning and growing and developing ideas and concepts, possibly even philosophies, very likely spirituality, as a broad umbrella there. So counterintuitively that's actually humbling. And I don't, unless these cards were playing out together in this way, I wouldn't say that this would be a humbling card, but I do think this is you and you're branching out, you're going into a new area or a new element. And also this is the mind. So you're going to take action on research or intellectual development, philosophy. As I said, you could combine these and turn these into, theology as a study. You don't have to be religious, for example. And then another term that I've learned is theosophy, which is something that Madame Blavatsky wrote about, and she opened up, she was the co-owner of the Church of Theosophy. And basically all that was is their role was to study from an intellectual angle or from a philosophical perspective the world of religions. So that might be an angle that's happening here as well. If this isn't you, this could be another individual who's playing a role in the month of September for you. So again, another Leo or Sagittarius or Aries. If neither of those are the case, this is simply energy. And the situation is, this is a beautiful time for you to take something to the next level, something that you find intriguing, something having to do with the mind, the thoughts, ideas, concepts. Very possibly communication, or you're communicating this, through electronic means. So you could be reading online, taking a course online, that type of thing. So really nice to see this here for you. The situation is this gorgeous, exciting, really just someone who's able to love and see past the nonsense, and is so secure and happy with themselves that it kind of rubs off on everyone around you. It's beautiful energy. And here with this Page of Air, it's actually quite exciting. You could be breaking free from something as well. You could be releasing old ideas about yourself, old ideas about this subject matter, for example, and going into it or addressing it or approaching it in an entirely different way than you did before, or that you thought you would. So I see this as a very positive endeavor for you in your recent past. So chronologically, this actually comes at the very beginning here. So it precedes the King of Fire. But in your recent past, there's been nostalgia. The Six of Cups is always a sense of longing. It's nostalgia. But it's also sentimentality. So for example, if you're in a relationship, your recent past would say that, you've developed a sense of sentimentality around that, which is quite lovely. You want to have that. You want to be able to look back on special events or, key moments. And, that's the whole point of nostalgia, those special pictures and those special gifts and that type of thing. So in your recent past, I would say, just entering into September, coming out of August, for example, would be, the longing, the nostalgia, and the sentimentality here. So again, we're dealing with cups. We do have 3 cups here. So a nice emotionally fulfilling month for you. I really do see this. And you're going up as well from a 6 and 9 to a 10. So this is really nice to see the progression out of nostalgia into a wish fulfillment, into this gorgeous, healthy, happy home, because you're starting out with a strong, happy heart here. So in the present situation is a decision needs to be made. This is the second 6. As I mentioned, 6s are about balance. So it just could be, and it does fall under, it is the only major arcana in the spread, by the way. It does fall under the King of Fire or the King of Wands, where a decision has to be made. So I think you really have to trust your instincts, look at the higher good. If there is issue around ego, maybe look to humility. This is the Lover's card. It's a little bit of a misnomer. The image from this deck is similar to the image from the Strength card. But that's not the case here. This is the Lover's card. So a decision needs to be made. It's usually between the mind and the heart. No one really ever loses here. It's just a decision, usually about the path or direction. But yeah, especially after coming out of that sense of nostalgia or that sense of longing here, something could be brought to your attention about a decision needed to be made here. But because I see this as your advice card, I'm seeing very strongly that the decision around this concept is about getting rid of something that doesn't work for you anymore. And this is an act. Okay, this is the advice, which is the act here. So it could just very well be about habits, giving up habits, perhaps introducing or adopting a new way of thinking, a new way of internal dialogue, a new way to think about something or even approach something. I think this is really going to set you free. And I think this decision will work to your benefit because that's the present. The future is this gorgeous wish fulfillment. So, I mean, obviously, and this falls under the Page of Swords as well. So it could be like cutting through the garbage, cutting through the nonsense, getting to the heart of the matter. That's the decision that needs to be made here. Like maybe no tippy-toeing, no mixed messages, no... I'm going to use my imagination and try to figure this out. I mean, if it is a relational issue of any sort here, Leo, I would suggest just getting to the heart of the matter with the other person And then, as I said, the advice is the Nine of Wands, which is really just, you spent so long here protecting something, or just working so hard, or being so busy, or maybe even being unavailable, or whatever this heavy load is for you. It's almost like it could, if not checked, become part of your identity as opposed to a process or a phase. So I think what this is saying is that if you find something cumbersome now, a behavior, a set of habits, whatever that is, way of living, way of going about relationships, whatever that is, it's saying here, you know what, you can let that go. You can choose something else now. So that's actually really, really beautiful. And of course, very, very positive. Had these been reversed, for example, I would say that the future looks a little bit heavy, but you can choose to wish yourself out of it, but that's not what's happening. I see this wish fulfillment occurring for you, and it's almost like this is going to be easy. Whatever habit needs to be given up on, or let go, or revised, or just doesn't fit the situation anymore. I mean, it does fall under the nostalgia or sentimentality card. So it could be something from outside of the relationship or circumstance that you're in. It could be even older, what you need to let go of here. It could be even older than the recent past around nostalgia. That I do really get a feel that from that card in that position today, that it's a good thing, that it's a nice thing. It's like the next level. It is followed by the Lovers, which is another 6. You're surrounded by so much beautiful energy, with the King of Fire, with the 9 of Cups, with the 10 of Cups here, even the 6 of Cups. I mean, there's nothing low energy about it. It's just, it can be nice. It can even be an anniversary. It doesn't have to be that you're without something, or that you, like an unrequited love, unless we see that actually spring up. But I see a really nice month for you. Just, take a risk, get excited about a new concept or idea or study, philosophy, anything that has to do with the mind, thinking, concepts, ideas, that type of thing. Keep your big heart big, and don't get caught up in ego if that's the case for you here. Okay, don't feel embarrassed, for example, because you're good at something, or because you know something someone else doesn't. Just share it openly and freely, and you'll know who you're dealing with by the way they react to that. A good-hearted, open-hearted person is going to receive what you have to offer in an open-hearted way, and they're not going to read ego into that. There's no need to do that. And a person who just has their own issues or agenda is not going to receive that very well, and they are going to accuse you of an ego, and you'll know who you're dealing with. But ultimately, you don't have to play the judgment game. If they want to, they can, but I think you're beyond that. You're busy making decisions, letting go of habits that don't serve you anymore, and being incredibly happy. So, I actually see a nice, new, exciting beginning for you here for the month of August. So don't give up. Look on the bright side here and make a decision based on, a full heart. I don't think that's going to be difficult for you, because there's no lack at all of anything here in this spread for you. So out of the romance angels, healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. A lot of people, and myself included, 5+ years ago would have brushed this off and laughed. This is remarkably important, however, when it comes to life, whether or not you're in a relationship, Leo. This is just incredibly important. In pursuit of personal healing, you can change or interchange love with creativity. If you're not in a relationship or not interested in dating, your creativity benefits as you forgive. So, and of course, love in general, your love life, the love in your heart, however you want to phrase that. If this isn't a romance issue, what beats in this big heart of yours. But believe it or not, this is incredibly potent healing energy. If you would like to begin working on that and you don't have the time or the money to buy and read books, you can always look up Louise Hay. And she's got a variety of different YouTube audiobooks, and one of them is called Heal Your Life. And it deals specifically, there's a side 1 and there's a side 2. And side 2 speaks directly and specifically about healing relationships with your parents. Your parents do not have to be in your life to do this work, and you do not have to have an already existing good relationship with your parents. That's not what it's about. It's all about you and healing. On the other hand, if this situation isn't about you, but you're sharing your time or your life with someone who does have old familial trauma that they need to get rid of, and which could very well be, right? This taxing load, this wounded soldier here, it's time to let that go. And this could be even what you're working on here, if you so choose. Just throwing that out there. Look at this gorgeous card. One of my favorite cards out of this entire deck is the hummingbird. This is joy. I mean, it's literally surrounding you. You do have two, as I said, the only other card, and this is even major arcana. It's not even the other elements, but the only other card that would have this much expressive, successful, emotionally fulfilling level of joy would be the Sun card. And so, I mean, you're dealing with so much joy, emotional fulfillment, and prosperity to begin with. So I think maybe your biggest task is to just set yourself free. Set yourself free this month, and no apologies. Listen, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not disturbing anybody, you're not lying to yourself, you know, as long as that's not happening, just go ahead and you be true to you and keep reaching for those higher ideas and ideals. Keep manifesting that beautiful, happy home. Let go of what doesn't serve you, because joy is most significant here. And I think the other level of looking into this, like from a space of, say, bitterness versus joy, or even happiness versus sadness, right? Let's say you have experienced or encountered sadness in this journey recently. It's probably not worked to your benefit to experience this journey through the lens of sadness. So why don't we try something different here? Joy is really yours to be had. And as I said, these are oracle messages for you. So I do think these are gentle reminders that this really does belong to you. And if, for example, if you feel like things are really nice, really good, you might be feeling nervous. When's that other shoe going to drop, for example? But I think this is saying here, you got to give that up. That's an old frame of mind. It doesn't serve you anymore. It's an old habit or an old thought process. Or like I said, it's so old. It's that feeling or that sensation, that belief, whatever, and it's going to turn into behavior, right? The way you talk, the way you anticipate. It could be even older than the relationship or even the past year. So the current relationship you're in, or even the past year or so, I would say. So it could be much older. It could go back to when you were quite young. So this could have to do, whatever you're being asked to let go of here, it could be quite old. But it'll be a relief to get rid of it. Here's the code create. I'm seeing this very strongly in the King of Fire and then the Page of Air here together. As I said, this is the situation and this is you. I just see you excited about something here, especially around like a major decision, heart and mind. You can tell by all of the water in this spread, for example, that the heart's gonna win. And I mean, that's your sign. You're a Leo, you're ruled by the sun. You rule the heart, okay? So, I mean, not unsurprising here. And co-create, yeah, absolutely. I think that you're getting in touch with a part of yourself, or maybe even with source or divine energy here. And I think you're ready. But more importantly than ready, I think you're willing. You're willing and ready to make significant changes in your own life that you believe that you deserve and that you're willing to look into and be curious about. I mean, there's a great deal of curiosity behind the Page of Air. And there's your guardian angel, right? If this does have to do with any spiritual matter, Leo, I'm going to suggest that you're on the right path and you are well taken care of. If you do need to be reminded of this, however, just ask for your guardian angel's help. And I'm a big fan of archangels as well. So if you want to look into archangels and choose one that suits you, you can always look that up. But yeah, I do think you're guided in a really emotionally prosperous development. And again, I think when we start to make positive change, no matter who we are, and no matter what the issue, sometimes when we make significant and dramatic changes in our own lives, not everyone around us is happy about that. That's their thing. That's them. That has nothing to do with you. But I'm just saying you may encounter that. But because your vibration is so high here and your emotional wellness is so intact, I think you're just going to let it slide. And I think you might even end up laughing at an internal voice or someone out, someone in your environment who's even going to bother to say like something ego, or something you think you're right all the time, or you think any type of, pushback like that. Just trust that is more about the other person's inability to accept your personal growth. It's not about your personal growth, and try to be patient with that. Ultimately, leave environments, at least for the month, in as much as you can, that are not conducive to joy and love and beauty and emotional wellness here, and be ready to give up something that just doesn't serve you anymore, and only you know what that is. So that is your reading for the month of September. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it was helpful. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And thank you so much to everyone who subscribes to my channel and who likes and shares my videos. That means the world to me. And someday I hope to do this full time. So that means a lot to have your encouragement. So thanks as always. I hope September is wonderful for everyone watching. And until we meet in the near future, take excellent care. Bye for now.